If you struggle with tension in your playing, you're not alone. Most pianists struggle with tension, including myself. You might feel pain or fatigue in your hands, or struggle to get your fingers to do what you want them to do, or play as fast as you'd like. I've been teaching and performing for over 30 years, and I'm excited to share the techniques that I teach my students to overcome their battles with tension. More specifically, I will talk about 5 primary causes of tension and show you some great solutions. The first thing I'd like to say is there's not one magic or permanent fix for tension. This is a problem we have to continuously work on. And I encourage you to experiment with the techniques in this video because you will encounter difficult areas in almost every piece that you play. It takes conscious practice and experimentation to figure out what works best for you. The first primary cause of tension that I'd like to talk about is stiffness in our bodies. When I'm playing a difficult passage, I tend to raise my shoulders and clench my teeth, and this makes my arms and hands naturally tense up. And it's almost impossible to play fast and strong and even like this. When I first moved to California from Utah, I started to take lessons from Dr. Gwendolyn Mock, and I was working on the Chopin Scherzo No. 2. And she told me that I wasn't very powerful because my body was as stiff as a board. So I'll never forget the lesson that we had. And she had me sit at her wooden dining table and practice hitting the table. And when I would hit the table with my usual tense, stiff upper body, I wasn't able to create a very full sound. But as soon as I started to relax my shoulders and use the natural weight of my arms to drop down on the table, I was able to create a much more full, round sound. And this lesson was a game changer for me for pieces like the Chopin Scherzo. I learned how to use less physical effort and produce a much more powerful sound. Dr. Mock also continuously reminded me during our lessons to keep my mouth open so I would stop clenching my teeth. I still think about this when I practice and perform, and it really helps me. It helps me to remember to keep my body relaxed, and so this might be a tip that could help you. Another cause of tension is weak technique. You may have some bad habits that you've formed over the years that are holding you back. And the first step to fixing weak technique is awareness. So working with a teacher is the best strategy, but if you don't have time or money to work with a teacher, you could try filming yourself with your phone. So do some full body shots so you can see your posture and you can see how you're pedaling, and then make sure to do some close-up shots so you can see what your fingers and wrists and hands are doing. And then once you watch your videos and you identify some problems, the next step is to do some slow, conscious practice to create some new habits. Wrist and elbow movement is essential for reduced tension and good technique. Some people think that pianists move their wrists and their arms and their upper body for show. This simply isn't true. It's actually necessary in order to stay relaxed and play fast and even. As I'm playing these repeated chords, my wrists are high and I'm just dropping down onto the keys. This helps me to play lighter and faster and stay relaxed. So if you want reduced tension in your playing, make sure to incorporate technique into your daily practice sessions. We all know that an athlete wouldn't be in shape to run a marathon if he wasn't running every day. Similarly, you won't be in shape to play fast pieces if you aren't working on technique consistently. And on that note, I hope you'll grab our free technique training in the description. My mom and I created unique piano technique for elementary, intermediate, and advanced pianists. And it includes a PDF of 9 creative, fun exercises. This training will get you enjoying your technique practice and working on exercises that will build strength, speed, and coordination. Another primary cause of tension is unfamiliarity with the notes. You can probably remember some sections in your pieces that caused you to tense up. Every time you got to that section, you thought, oh no, it's this part. Usually I can reduce tension in my playing simply by getting to know the notes better. So my mom and I recently performed in a duo concert. There were a few sections in Lacona's Malagueña, my mom's two-piano arrangement, that stressed me out and I would always tense up. So it's this one section that went really fast towards the end. What I decided to do on this section is memorize it so that I could watch my hands and really know the notes well. So I memorized the hands separate, and I noticed in the right hand was doing the same chords as the left hand. I did a lot of rhythm practice. So this helped me to really feel confident with the notes, and I was able to stay fairly relaxed in the concert. Another primary cause of tension is playing above our level. Tension usually appears when we're trying to play faster or louder than our fingers can realistically handle. You may need to surrender and play a little slower than you'd like, and that's okay. I always tell my students it's better to play on the slower side and play expressively than it is to play fast and sloppy. You might start a piece that you love and realize that you won't be able to get it to your performance standards. That doesn't mean that you can't practice it. In fact, working on pieces that challenge us make us better pianists. Just don't beat yourself up if you can't play it as fast as a concert pianist on YouTube. And remember to practice technique consistently. You should see improvement in your speed and coordination if you do this. I was working on Chopin's Revolutionary Etude recently, and I was struggling with tension with this piece because I was trying to play too loud. So it has all these left-hand arpeggios, and I was just playing way too loud. And I learned to lighten up in my left hand, and then I was able to keep the stamina throughout the piece. Sitting incorrectly at the piano is another tension-producing problem that I'm always talking to my students about. So you can see I'm sitting on a blanket now. You want your forearms to be parallel to the floor or slightly sloped down to the keys. And you want to cover the front half of the bench as a general rule. And if you put your arm out straight, your knuckles should reach the fall board. If you feel like your left hand is the main source of tension in your playing, watch my next video about how to strengthen your left hand and play faster with more coordination. And if you have any solutions for tension that I didn't mention in today's video, I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments.